Hey everybody, how's it going? So I'm a big history buff, for those of you that don't know, and a book nerd. Very proud of that. I love to read history books or books on military history in particular. I read a few months ago, actually maybe it might have been last year, a book about 1066, the year of the conquest. That's the Norman invasion, William the Conqueror, when he came to England and took over and blah, blah, blah. Very fascinating stuff. And the other day I was reading The Art of War, or rather the introduction, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. And the introduction is probably longer than the actual book itself. But anyway, I was reading something, just bear with me here. It is pertinent to health and fitness. But I was reading something about how this relates to health. And the author of this introduction, the translator of the original Sun Tzu text, talks about the healing arts and martial arts may be a world apart in ordinary usage, but they are parallel in several senses. In recognizing, as the story says, that the less needed, the better. In the sense that both involve strategy in dealing with disharmony, disharmony in war and disharmony in your own body, and in the sense that in both knowledge of the problem is key to the solution. As in the story of the ancient healers, in Sun Tzu's philosophy, the peak efficiency of knowledge and strategy is to make conflict altogether unnecessary. Quote, to overcome others' armies without fighting is the best strategy, or the best of skills. And like in the story of the healers, Sun Tzu explains that there are all grades of martial arts. The superior military person foils enemies' plots. Next best is to ruin their alliances. Next after that is to attack their armed forces, which is what a lot of people think is like the first foray into war, is like, armies clashing. That's actually one of the worst situations to be in, according to Sun Tzu. And worst of all is to besiege their cities. Now, how this relates to health is very important. Every step of the line down into getting really, really bad and kind of mired down into sickness and disease, if you've reached that point, basically, you're already screwed. Okay? The point is to never fight that battle in the first place. Okay? Note again the similarity of Sun Tzu's advice to medical wisdom. To foil the enemy's plots is like keeping healthy so as to be resistant to disease. The very best way to fight disease is to be healthy. If you're healthy all the time and you never get sick, well, you never come down with disease. If you're fit all the time and strong and are in good shape all the time, you never have to worry about getting in shape. I mean, think about it. Somebody that's out of shape, I say this all the time. The people that need to work out the most do it the least. The people that need to do it the least do it the most. I mean, because I hear this complaint a lot where people will say, oh, well, you don't need to work out. You're in great shape. Well, you're in great shape because you work out. I'm in great shape because I work out. They work together. I mean, it's cause and effect. And that's the most difficult thing. So what it's saying here is, to ruin their alliances is like avoiding contagion. To attack their armed forces is like taking medicine. So you've gotten to the point where you're already taking drugs for your ailment. You've already messed up. Okay, you've already gotten to a point that's really bad. And to besiege their cities is like performing surgery. If you gotten to the point where you have to go in and get your body cut open, okay, by a medical doctor, a surgeon, you're already perhaps past the point of no return. Okay, you've got to stop it before that happens. You have to start working out before you get to the point where you can't even walk up the stairs. This is very important because I see this a lot. When I see old people that are infirm and can't walk and can't move and can't, get about very well, I feel really bad for them, okay? I have empathy for their plight, but I also think, okay, well, back up 5 years, back up 10 years, back up 20 years. There was a point in their life where they were young, where they felt good, where they had mobility, and the slow degradation of their fitness and their health at the same time got them to the point where they're at. Well, now, I mean, think about somebody that's 85 years old and they can't even get out of bed without help. I mean, it's over. You know, how do you get them back? I'm not saying it's over, but it's so difficult to get them back to a level of acceptable fitness and health and life. The quality of life is garbage at that point. But if you go back in time and you stop that divergence and that degradation going downwards, and instead at least maintain it, if not try to improve that level of health and fitness, well, it's so much easier. And it's not only difficult as you get older because, well, you're just in worse physical shape. It's more difficult because all the habits that you've ingrained into your mind, into your daily life, have become that much stronger. That's what makes it so hard. Okay, if you're watching this and you're 40 or you're 50 or whatever, there's hope. You know, if you're 20 or 30, well, there's a lot of hope. And the fact that you haven't gone down that road for so long and you haven't ingrained those habits and those mental impulses and those, that physical feeling that you get one way or the other, whether it's feeling like crap all the time or feeling good all the time because you stay in shape and you work out and you eat right, it's that much better depending on which path you choose. Okay, it's harder to pull. It's when the flame has already destroyed your house. If your house catches on fire, well, you stop it when the flame is this small. That's what he's saying about Sun Tzu's philosophy in war. You stop it before it escalates. You fight without fighting. There's one of my favorite movies, Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon, The Art of Fighting Without Fighting. If you've ever seen that movie, there's a great one where this guy, this complete a-hole, is like bullying these poor fishermen, on the boat. And Bruce Lee's like, okay, well, I want to show you, some of my fighting skills. Let's go out on this boat. Well, he puts the guy on this boat, and he lets it, he lets the boat, float away from the main ship. And the guy's screaming at him like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he hands off the rope to the guys that he was bullying. Well, he fought without fighting. Didn't, punch the guy and break his hand. Didn't hurt himself. Didn't exert himself physically at all. He used his brain. He used his strategy to defeat the guy without actually fighting. Well, that's what you have to do with your level of fitness and any potential disease that comes up. You nip it in the bud before it gets too big. If it gets too big, if the cancer metastasizes and spreads over your whole body, well, what do you do then? It's so much harder to fight. It's like your house burning down in this huge blaze. Well, you stop it when it's just a spark. You don't even let it spark, okay? You don't let the flame engulf your whole house. You stop it before it gets to that big, before it gets to that size, before it gets too big. You do the same thing with disease. You do the same thing with your health and your fitness and everything else. This is incredible stuff. What I always tell people too is, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, stay ahead of the count, so to speak. If you know baseball terms, when you're at the plate and you have 3 balls and 0 strikes, you're ahead of the count. If you have 2 strikes and 1 ball, well, I mean, that's an uphill battle. Don't let it get to that point. If you need to drink 100 ounces of water a day, like that's your goal, or it's your goal to work out 5 times a week, well, don't wait until 8 p.m. to drink 1 ounce of water. Drink 30 ounces as soon as you wake up. Boom. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever time you wake up. Boom, chug some water. You're ahead of the count. You only have 70 ounces to go for the rest of the day. If it's Thursday and you haven't worked out once, well, guess what? You're not making 5 times a week. Work out Sunday, work out Monday, work out, stay ahead of the count. Get 3 workouts in by Wednesday. Boom, you only need 2 more the rest of the week, or 1 more if you're working out 4 times, or whatever your goal is. Stay ahead of the count. Stay ahead of your disease. If it's been 6 months, a year since you've worked out, work out tomorrow. Do it right now. Don't let it become 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then you're one of these old people that can't even get up the steps. No, don't let it get that bad. Do something about it right now. Nip it in the bud and make it happen. Because if you wait, the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be, the harder battle you're going to have to fight. Please, take control of your life right now. Take control of your fitness and your health. Don't be one of these people. It doesn't have to be that bad, okay? It doesn't have to be bad at all. It can be fun. It can be good. do something you enjoy. Okay? Use this video as motivation to get back in the saddle and get back on track before it's too late. And you know, I don't like to inject fear into people, but you know, I'm all about tough love. And if you don't do that for yourself right now, it's only going to get harder and harder as you go along. So that's it. That's my rant for the day. I just thought this was really interesting. It's a great book so far. It's funny how the introduction is longer than the book itself, but there's some really great wisdom there. So go out there, get back on track now before it's too late, before it makes it even harder. You know, fight that battle now when it's smaller. Don't even fight the battle at all. As he says, you know, it's best to win without fighting. It doesn't have to be a fight. You know, health is easy if you make the right choices. Fitness is easy if you make the right choices. So make the right choices. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.